Boom, ya. Let us get this started with. We're on the final unit, Unit 9 of AP US History. Let us get this started with. We're going to be talking about the aftermath of the war. Now, this is the era that pretty much ended the the Cold War, and this led towards our modern age, where computers, ENIACs, and everything was starting to become a thing. The Cold War created all these technologies that we use and we enjoy today, like video games and TV screens and movies and K-pop. What else am I gonna say? I'm a Korean, so these technologies, though, we went ahead and created a bunch of these technologies to go ahead and help us in our lives. We could go ahead and improve everything, but technology might be improving a little bit fast, yes, but then again, this curve is starting to become a little bit finite because we cannot create more technologies and improve this fast of a rate as what that curve about improvement has shown us, because unfortunately we humans do have a limit on how much we can create and how much we can think of. More or less, we could probably go ahead and make a linear equation to represent productivity and advancements in technology. But the thing is, technology itself, it's incredible, and it has helped improve our lives. Let me summarize it to you in one word: terrorism. But before terrorism, we need to talk about the Berlin War. The Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall itself, the toppling of the Berlin Wall, symbolized the end of the Cold War itself, and it ended up creating so many more things. So many more things. And the thing about the Berlin Wall, so it was the separation of Germany, and with the toppling of the Berlin Wall, it signalized that Germany was no longer divided and that people can live in peace, and they can go ahead and visit each other freely and as much as they want. And then we have presidents like Reagan, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush. And eventually we even got George H.W. Bush, and then we had George W. Bush. I'm mixing the Bushes again. They literally have the same name except for the H. George W. Bush went ahead and dealt with terrorism. George H.W. Bush was the father, and George W. Bush was the one that was the more recent one. Now, terrorism itself was a pretty big thing. Now, I know, you might be asking me, why didn't I talk about JFK in the last video? Because that was really instrumental if I'm going to talk about something like the Berlin Wall. But unfortunately, I couldn't fit JFK into the video in any point, except I'm going to fit him in right now just to make up for the time that wasn't able to fit him into the video. And the last time, he was able to go ahead and help create the civil rights movement, so his assistant LBJ was the one who went ahead and signed that piece of law signed that civil rights bill. Because, JFK died. He was assassinated. What could you do if you're assassinated and you're really, really dead? Nothing. Terrorism became a really big thing within us, and terrorism became a pretty big haunting thing within American society, especially after what happened to the Twin Towers on 9/11. And ever since then, the emergency phone call for anything medical related and police related, that kind of stuff, well, it ended up being 9/11. 911, aka 911. And then we had these four presidents. May I present to you George W. Bush? George W. Bush tried to go ahead and create this terrorism fight, and he went ahead and created a messy war in Afghanistan, which he sent to Obama to deal with because his presidency was up. Obama, the first ever African American president, and the first person of color to actually hold the position of president, he went ahead and tried to deal with the Afghanistan war, and he was pretty good at it as well too. He was also known as the president that was the first one to ever use media coverage like YouTube and Twitter and other things. George W. Bush himself kind of lost his touch with the world, and he lost the popularity favor with people when he went to a grocery store and said, "What is this thing? It's called a barcode, sir." "What the heck is a barcode? Use it to pay, sir." Why did this not exist when I was president?" "It did exist when you were president, sir." "What?" Yeah, and Obama went ahead and showed that he was a man of the people, with Joe Biden being his vice president. And then Donald J. Trump became elected, and he was like, "America first, we're gonna be isolationist again, people. America first," which is very un-American nowadays. And then he got defeated by Joe Biden, which makes a lot of sense, really. People would rather be with Obama's VP than this dude. Joe Biden himself was, currently, the oldest U.S. president ever. The oldest one ever. Even older. then even older than George Washington. And you all know what happened during Obama's presidency. He did try to go ahead and kill the terrorist leader of Iraq, of the Taliban, which worked out a little bit. They were never able to go ahead and capture the dude though, but they were able to kill him. Then Donald J. Trump came ahead and you pretty much undid everything Obama ever did. His healthcare, which was nicknamed Obamacare, and it stuck. Was apparently reversed by Trump. But then again, it was reinstated by Joe Biden. Trump himself made it a little bit harder to do Obamacare. But then again, he is not mad. Obama himself was able to go ahead and deal with his presidency great, and he really loves fast food, so that made him a man of the people too. Then Donald J. Trump, well, made Obama's love for chicken look like nothing, and then Trump himself started to go ahead and do everything in his right to go ahead and help America go up in the American stage. You think Trump's tariffs are new? Well, those high rates, yeah, they're new, but he has been thinking about them for a while. And Trump himself went ahead and did everything he could to make America great again. MAGA. It didn't exactly work out great. Then he got usurped by Joe Biden, and then Trump was reelected in 2024. Which I had a fun time watching the election of with my classmates during class time, because the American election was doing at night. I was at school in the day. We watched the American election for the entire morning. The next day we found that Trump won, and some of us were sad, some of us were happy. That one was weird. Anyways, Trump himself came back. Joe Biden showed himself to be somewhat incompetent when he went ahead and started stuttering and started not syncing when he was debating against Donald Trump, which led his candidacy to be replaced by Kamala Harris. At least nobody wanted to do a Joe Biden versus Donald Trump rematch in 2.0 anymore. Kamala Harris herself went ahead and got pretty good votes, but then everyone who really wanted to vote were the ones who wanted to vote for Trump. Everyone who wanted to vote but didn't exactly feel like voting, they would vote for Kamala, but they didn't go to the polls. I would have voted for Kamala, but I'm not an American citizen. So Donald J. Trump won the election in 2024, becoming president in 2025. And what did he do during his presidency? Well, his first presidency, he first dealt with the COVID-19 issue, but then as soon as he finished the vaccine, his presidency ended and Joe Biden took over, who took that vaccine really seriously and required everyone to be vaccinated. So some people refused, mainly for two things. Number one, allergies. Number two, hey, it's breaking my free speech and free acts kind of stuff is breaking it. And well, now we have a war in Ukraine. Now you have to deal with that. Donald J. Trump is trying to deal with that best with Vladimir Putin, but it ain't working the way he wants it to. But these three are the iconic ones because number one, they're the ones who have a big they're the only ones only presidents who actually have a YouTube channel. Number two, they're just really iconic. I mean, first African American, oldest, make America great again. Who else is more iconic than these three? George Washington. Yeah, that's true. George Washington. And Thomas Jefferson. Oh, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Teddy Roosevelt. Okay, I get it. But these three are the more modern and recognizable ones. And that is the end, unfortunately, of US history. Mainly because there's no more US history to talk about. We're creating US history as we speak. But I really hope this was able to go ahead and help you a little bit in your understanding of US history. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you guys soon. Until next time, cheer on our peace. Bye bye.